So you manage things and you lead people. A quote by Grace Hopper that I love. So today we're going to be covering how to move from manager to full-fledged leader. So I hope you're joining me with your cup of coffee on a beautiful Monday morning. My name is Melissa. I'm an executive coach and a management consultant. And what I do is I work with leaders and I help them boost their influence and step into the type of leader that they truly desire to be and the type of leader that people are excited to follow. And when I say follow, I don't mean follow blindly, but follow because they believe and they want to be part of what this person represents. I'm talking about resonant leadership. So joining me today is Kelsey-Ann Balcom. Kelsey-Ann is part of my team. Kelsey-Ann, what do you want to share about yourself?
I will share that I'm your director of operations and I come on these lives to offer the employee perspective. So, different leadership values and tips and tricks and, processes and procedures. And I'm here to just offer that employee perspective that, leaders would be, it would be to their benefit to kind of keep that in their mind while they're, making these decisions.
Yeah. So Kelsey-Ann is the glue that holds In Charge Coaching together. She has a hand in everything. She has a hand in us coming on live and sharing, but she is also part of the client experience. So she supports me in delivering exceptional coaching and ensuring that every person gets exactly what they need. She helps me personalize the experience. So moving from manager to leader. Let's talk about that a little bit. What you'll notice if you're just joining for the first time, Kelsey-Ann and I come on these live, we're a little bit candid. We open up the conversation and we invite you to be part of that conversation as well. So please hashtag replay if you're watching on the replay. If you're joining us live, fantastic. We weren't really able to announce this one beforehand. So if you are with us live, just say hi. Let us know where you're joining from.
I can see that there's two people watching. So hello, who's ever watching?
All right. So managing versus leading. What are your thoughts, Kelsey-Ann? And what is your experience as an employee? How would you describe that difference?
Um, in my past corporate, experiences, I have been micromanaged,
Okay.
right? So I felt that manager feeling of being just an employee number. Second guessing everything, all of my decisions, not necessarily feeling confident, not having the authority to make a decision and move forward. Versus now on our team, Melissa, you've given me the keys to my kingdom. And, there's very few things that I actually have to stop and say, okay, this is something that I'm going to talk with Melissa. It's just make a decision and move on and inform you of that decision. Okay, I did it this way because of X, Y, and Z. And you're fine with it. And I know it relieves pressure off you to make that decision when I make that decision. And I know that I am in a better position to make that decision because it's under my umbrella of what I'm doing. And you have made it very clear with me that I know my role better than anybody else because I'm the one doing it. So I
Yeah.
can, so just that shift, I definitely feel more empowered now as an employee than what I did in corporate, where I felt like another employee number. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really feel that I made such an impact or a difference.
Yeah. It's interesting. So I'm just going to echo back what I'm hearing. So it sounds like in terms of being managed, there's like a micromanaged, and I'm hearing a freedom tone to this, an autonomy tone. I was restricted and there were consequences and there was concern and there was some stress there.
Mhm.
And what you're seeing in terms of leadership, the difference is having autonomy. So your experience of leadership is more autonomous.
Absolutely.
And what is that? How is the support different for you?
Um, the support is different because we have a smaller team than what I've been on previously. So we are based around your very busy schedule. We do have, touch points to touch base and make sure that I'm, staying on target. We have maneuvered, I think, around that by scheduling in touch points with you and I to, okay, what's our focus, like our Monday morning meetings and our end of the week meetings. Um, but just having, I think, like you said, having that autonomy and you having the confidence in me and very vocal about that confidence that you can make and giving me that permission to make those kinds of decisions that these are in your wheelhouse to do. If it's something that has to do with a transaction that needs to go through on the corporate card, well, that's something that we have to talk about, right? Or you know what I mean? So there's different parameters that you've given me. Um, but it really feels good as an employee to be given the keys to the kingdom, right?
Yeah.
With that understanding that along with those keys comes a lot of responsibility. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
not something, right? And that's not something that I take lightly at all because I treat this business like our business, not like it's your business, right? I really do treat it like my own. And in a corporate life, I definitely didn't, right? I was just an employee number. I was just getting paid. I was in for, my 8 to 5. Um, and that was it.
Yeah. So we're back to the quote. You manage things, you lead people. So we manage, management is not like a bad thing. And often we think about micromanagement. Okay. But management is important. We need to be able to manage our time, manage our schedules, manage our tasks, manage our projects. These are things. Okay, we can move them around, we can restrict them, allocate them, reallocate them. We can make decisions around them. We manage things. And that's an important skill to have as a leader. Okay.
Mhm.
So for me, sometimes I hear that like, oh, we shouldn't be managing. Well, we should be managing things, right?
Yes.
It is a skill. It is an important skill in this position, but realizing that we can't just move people around on the chessboard. That's not how it works. We
Right.
can't just make decisions for. We can't just reallocate and these are people, and people who feel empowered or people who feel disempowered will show up very differently. You don't follow me because you have to, and you're not being told to do anything. So what I do in my business, what you've just heard, is what I help people achieve. I teach, I teach and I coach around these skills, around leaving the management where it needs to be on the things and learning how to reach people where it counts, learning how to ignite that 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 internal motivation. So, and empowering them so that they can show up in this way that Kelsey-Ann is describing, that she's showing up for me in my business.
Mhm.
And it's a beautiful thing. I don't want her to go anywhere.
I'm not going anywhere.
You can't have her. um, So so that transition is really important, and stepping into that place can be really difficult when we don't know how to get there, and there's a lot of things like time and busyness and expectation, external stressors that come into play, and it feels impossible. And I get that. But what I can tell you is that my clients do make that transition. And it is easier than you think when you are building the right skills and you have the right strategy.
Mhm.
So if this is something that you are interested in exploring, and let me tell you, it can happen quicker than you think, quicker than you think. Right now, I'm opening up limited spots in my signature program, the Executive Edge. And this is where I work with leaders to make this transition. So I help them increase their influence. I help them elevate and lead very effective communication so that every word that you utter actually makes a difference and you're not turning around in circles anymore. And to have a really positive impact on your company culture, or at least your team culture.
Mhm.
Sometimes we're in bigger organizations and we might not have the power, but let me tell you, if you can't, if you're not in that position of power to have an impact across the organization, you can at least make a change in your team right now.
Mhm.
You can lead that change and make that positive impact. And over time, you can reach much further out. So, some of what my clients have received being in this program, I want you to imagine this. Imagine walking into the office, being greeted by people who want to be there, people like Kelsey Ann, who feel motivated to be there, feel motivated to be their best, take that responsibility very seriously. Watching your team get things done. So Kelsey Ann is not the only person on my team. Ghislain couldn't be here with us today because of personal things that have come up for him. But watching them work together and get things done, even when you're not there, even when you're not hand-holding, even when you don't have to drag them to success.
Mhm.
Feeling confident in making those critical leadership decisions. So the thing about leadership is, as you move up, as you gain more authority, the bigger the decisions, the more impactful the decisions, the more critical they are. And not every decision is reversible.
Mm.
And they impact people. So being able to make those decisions from a place of confidence and clarity.
Mhm.
Tackling leadership challenges, and they come no matter how great of a leader you are, the challenges, they exist in the workplace.
Yeah.
All right. And you can feel at ease tackling them because you can trust your team. You have people that have your back, and your colleagues and even upper management. Knowing that you can make a difference and have a positive impact on the employee culture. And move up. A lot of my clients, doors open up for them because they're showing up in a way that's being recognized. And sometimes people can't really put their finger on it, but they feel it. And they're being seen, and they're being heard, and their voice is being valued. Their vision is being valued, and they're having a much greater impact. So if that's something that sounds good to you, this is just a little taste of what my clients get from being inside of the Executive Edge. Kelsey, and what do you want to add to this?
As you were saying that, what came up to me is hearing the leaders that have gone through the program. Usually, I think it's like week 2 or week 3, saying like, giving their feedback and saying, "Hey, I've been doing what we've been doing, through the program, and my employees are noticing those changes. They're just little tweaks." And they say like, I don't know what you're doing, but like I noticed a difference. So that when, hearing that from clients is so exciting because this works.
Yeah.
We live and breathe this every day, but it's so exciting to know that there are organizations that, leaders in organizations that are now understanding how important it is to, be giving those keys away, right? And to be leading like this.
Yeah. And those same clients that you're talking about that are receiving those that are seeing the changes in the first few weeks are the same clients. They're the busy leaders like you are, facing the limited time, lots of expectations, a ton of things to do, um, a
Leading
lot
through
of
big
stress,
changes, right? Big
leading through
stressors.
changes.
Yes.
Yeah. And that is sometimes the best time to do this work. And that can be really supportive to you in that stress so that you can show up better and be more effective.
Yes. Like I'm thinking now of like a handful of leaders that, you know, didn't think that they had enough time to do the program because of X, Y, and Z going on, the changes going on. But those that took that leap, you know, made those changes, and the change with that happened with their organization, they made the difference because arguably they were in this program and helped others, move through that process of change with better ease because they themselves were getting the tools to move through those changes, right? And lead their team through. So that's been super exciting to see too.
Yeah. So how do you make that change? How do you make that change? Well, there's two things that you're going to need. And the beautiful thing about the change is these are going to be little things that you're going to change within yourself that are going to have a whole lot of results with people.
Mm,
And the first thing that you really need to make, what's the word I'm looking for? Not progress, but to really optimize your practical emotional intelligence. And every leader that I work with, every leader that wants to work with me, they're coming because they have some emotional intelligence.
absolutely. And a lot of them have these
Right.
leadership skills that they've acquired over the years because they're not brand new leaders.
And this is really about going to the next level. And if you're here right now, I know that you've done a ton of development, a lot of leadership training, you have a ton of experience, and you have enough experience to know that when the going gets tough, it is hard to show up in that way. When the waters are calm, right?
Yeah.
You can show up that way, but when the chaos, when the stress, it is hard, and it's not just knowing a framework or two that's going to make the difference. What's going to make the difference, and even like common sense, right? For stress, common sense goes out the window. That's not enough. It is having the skills that you can rely on, that you can be confident in, and the skills that are going to be so stable and skilled that they're going to be show up. They're going to be the skills that you can rely on when the stress happens,
Mhm,
when the challenge comes your way, so that you know exactly what to do
mhm.
in the heat of the moment. And that is a beautiful thing. And as I'm saying that, I'm going to add a little piece. I used to be that person, and this might resonate with you, that would go over conversations before they happened in my mind over and over and over and over again. And I would like come up with plans. I'm going to say this. And then if they say that, I'm going to say that. And if they say that, I'm going to say that. And if they say that, and I would come up with all of these different paths that the conversation could go in. And I would spend a lot of time, right, going over that. So that was occupying space in my mind. That
Mhm.
was me anxieting and stressing over something that hadn't happened yet. And I didn't know that how it was going to go down.
Right.
And was also taking time away from dealing with the thing. It would take time away from, it was almost like a little bit of avoidance because I wasn't ready. But when you have the right skills, you don't need to do all of that. You can walk into the conversation, you can walk into the situations and feel comfortable that you will pick up the right tool as things unfold. And as you're, growing in your leadership and going up in position, those conversations become more critical and they can go many different ways. And you don't have time to do all of that,
No,
right?
no, yeah.
So that's what these skills can do for you. And so I'm going to talk about the second thing that's going to be really important. I'm going to tie it back to these skills. Okay. Customized strategy. You don't have a lot of time and you don't need everything. You need the one thing that's going to move the needle for you. The one thing that's going to give you the ROI that you're seeking. You don't need to do all the things. And if you've been doing all the things in leadership, you could be doing a lot of things that aren't applicable to you. And so what I do is I go see what you actually need. And that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on moving the needle as quickly as possible. And so I do a profile, a leadership profile. And this is going to be a way for you to view your leadership skills. And this is often, I want to say more than often, almost always the first time that leaders have seen their leadership skills on black and white. We're not talking about personality. We're talking about leadership competencies. And they can see what it means to be a leader, where they're excelling. So talk about a confidence boost when you can see on paper where you are showing up in the right ways, what you can leverage, what skills you might be overusing, and where is the biggest opportunity for growth. And it's a nice little dance that we do in that first coaching session that we have, that first one-on-one coaching session, to really pinpoint what is going to be important to you. And then we can develop a strategy for your development so that through those 8 weeks in this program, you are getting results right away. And those results are in the practice.
I think it's really, sorry, just to interject that, having gone through the program and having done the leadership assessment, it was really cool to see percentages, right? These are actual real numbers. Like you said, this is concrete proof. And it was like, oh, this is who I am as a leader. It was really reassuring that this is how I see myself, but this is how I am to other people as well. And we've heard that, like that echo from other leaders. Like, I've never looked at myself on paper as a leader, but here it is. Like these, I agree with these.
Yeah.
A lot of them can see where that opportunity is and they know that that's been the opportunity, but now they have words to put into a focus of leveraging their strength, on for that opportunity.
Yeah. And getting engagement from people. Okay, let's go back to what it means to be a leader.
Yeah.
To get people to want to show up, to show up from a place of intrinsic motivation, not because they have to, that's extrinsic, but intrinsic, because they want to. What underpins that is feelings, it's emotions. Those are the drivers of them wanting to show up. How Kelsey Ann feels about our team, feels about our mission, feels about me, feels about our impact, feels about our clients. That is what makes the difference. I hope you feel comfortable. I'm using you as an example.
Absolutely.
Here.
Absolutely. No. And I would have volunteered that information anyways, because it has, and there's been a shift, right, over the years, and even more since I've shifted into this role. that
Mhm.
self-accountability and responsibility that I know that I need to show up for this team and I want to.
Mhm. And that ability to work with those emotions. And that's why EQ is so closely tied to leadership, that ability to work with those emotions, work with those feelings, and reach that intrinsic motivation. Ignite that intrinsic motivation is a big difference maker.
Mhm.
And once you can do that, you can do that, you can build up that gracefulness of being able to do it with your presence and with few words. And that executive that walks into the room and you're thinking, he or she has the je ne sais quoi, that ability to move the room just by being present, just by saying a few words, commanding that respect and that trust. These are the skills.
Mhm.
These are the skills that make the difference, that get you that je ne sais quoi. All right. So if you're interested, here's some specific details about the program. So let me just look at, okay, so the program starts April 15th. So in about a month.
Mhm.
But if you want in, you need to act right now. I said we open 6 seats. We already have 2 that are gone, which means I have 4 availability. And I think that will be the last availability until possibly September.
Yeah, depending June possibly, but that
Yeah. So right now, these seats, there's not going to be a ton of availability. So if you are interested, now is the time. 4 seats available, and you need to book a call with me or Ghislain, who is my director of client solutions, in order to see if it's a good fit for you. Kelsey, and can you drop the link in the chat to book
of
that
course.
call?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what happens when you get on a call and you talk with us? We're going to look at what you're needing, what your goal is, what is really going to make the difference for you to make sure that this is in alignment, that you're a good fit for the program is a good fit for you. There is only a small number of people that come to the table. And because it is a hybrid program, meaning there's one-on-one, but there's also group, who sits at the table makes a big difference. And so everyone is vetted, and we make sure that we have the right people at the table to go through this development experience. All right. So we're going to make sure before you make a decision, we're going to make sure that it's a good fit. You need to book your call before next Tuesday in order to explore this. All right. So when you click on the link that's in the chat, that will bring you to a page with more details and the opportunity to book yourself in our calendar. If you have any issues with finding a spot on the calendar, you can message myself or you can message Kelsey Ann in order to get help with that. We will make sure to find you a spot so you can talk with us. All right. Now, I love to work with people who take action, right? Because the people who take action, the people who put things into practice are the people who get the most results. And if that is you, I have something I'd like to give you. If you take action and you book your call within the next let's say 48 hours, you have until Wednesday to go on and book your call. So you don't have to have spoken to us by Wednesday, but you have to have yourself booked into the calendar. I'm going to give you an EQ kit, okay? Extra materials for you to go through the program and live with you after the program. I'm going to show you what I have for you. So you're going to get your EQ coaching cards. The EQ coaching cards are going to be your sidekick. You can use them to coach yourself, to coach employees, to coach your team. They also come jam-packed full of questions, power questions, questions that you can use as you're developing your leadership and implementing some coaching in your leadership. If you've been in leadership for a while, you know that mentorship and coaching is a part of that. You're going to get Plutchik's Wheel of Emotion. This you're going to get very familiar with in the program. And this is going to be an instrument for you to move through your conversations more effectively and with more influence. You're going to get an interactive version of this. And this is going to be the little tool at your fingertip that you're going to use. It's going to be the little thing hidden on your desk or on your billboard behind your employee. The Practicing Emotional Intelligence booklet, a small booklet packs a big punch. If you're working on culture and dynamics, sharing this with your employees can make a big difference. I love to share this little booklet with people to open up their mind to how we work together. You're going to get, these are the models that we work with during the program. So this is a little cheat sheet at your fingertips, literally folds and fits into your back pocket. It's a really nice, handy dandy thing to have when you're a busy leader. And
I keep mine on my desk.
you,
Okay, because yeah.
and then you're going to get the Heart of Leadership book, which is a book that supports the program. So I, during the program, give some recommended reads. You don't have to, but this is a support, and some people choose to read it after, but it lives with you and it helps deepen that practice, and it helps anchor some of those core concepts that you'll be learning. So all of this, if you book your call within the next 2 days, so by Wednesday at 5 o'clock, you can qualify to receive your EQ kit. So when you speak with us, if you do move ahead, then you'll get your kit along with your program. For those who are looking to get funding coverage from their employer, let's talk about that, because that's a question that comes up. So now I'm getting into like FAQs here. If that is something that you are looking to get covered, I have materials. So I have a handout for you to bring back to the decision maker. From our conversation, we'll identify the core things that you're going to be working on so that you can bring that back to the decision maker. This is the program, and then this is what specifically I want to get from the program so that you can get that approval. Okay, so I will work with you to make sure that you have what you need to get the support. Kelsey Ann, what do you want to add? What did I miss?
I think you pretty much covered it all.
Perfect. So the information is on the link. So there's more information there. We will dig into details on the call.
Mm-hmm.
This is an 8-week leadership development program that focuses on transitioning into leadership, true leadership, where you are going to increase your influence. You're going to be more effective with people. You're going to enhance your communication to make sure that every conversation you have with employees counts. And you're going to be able to engage employees and enable that self-responsibility so that you can get back your time. And this has been designed with you in mind, with your busy schedule. All you need to do is show up for our live calls. You're going to be getting access to me for 8 weeks. And I can't wait to get started in April.
Absolutely.
So book your call. Do it now to get the EQ kit, because I really want to give it to you. It's like a thing when people don't qualify. I'm like,
well, and those that qualify for the kit, they get such a deeper experience because they have these tools that they then share with their team, and then their team is, grows that much more because they have access to the Plutchik's wheel and whatnot.
All right. So if you feel like this might be the right next step for you, book your call and we can look at that possibility. Again, booking your call doesn't mean you're in. Booking your call means we're going to chat. All right. Have a beautiful Monday, beautiful week, and cheers.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.